my privilege to introduce a long friend of the Chamber, our former governor, former U.S. Senator, the Honorable George Allen, who will introduce our guest speaker, Mayor Will Sessoms.
Well, Congressman Ridgel, members of the General Assembly, mayors, city council members, leaders of the armed forces, ladies and gentlemen, patriots all, good afternoon. It is a great afternoon, and it's an invigorating pleasure to be asked to introduce Will Sessoms. It's great to be in Virginia Beach and see such a turnout of people who are also enthused about envisioning a better future for Virginia Beach, and indeed for Virginia, and indeed for our country. And Will Sessoms has been a friend of Susan and I for many years, and we've worked together from early on when I was governor. You were a young member of the City Council, and others saw your leadership on the City Council and made you vice mayor. One of the key things that I would always look at Will being from the business sector is somebody with a lot of good judgment, good leadership skills, and understanding the private sector, and appointed him to the Public School Building Authority Board and the Local Health Benefits Advisory Committee. Most importantly, Will cares about jobs, and as some of you all may remember, when I was governor, we said we wanted the world to know that Virginia was open for business. Well, economic development is a team activity. You can't do it at the state level or the local level alone. You have to work together. And it was just always great to be working with Will Sessoms on a variety of companies, whether being over in Germany and talking to Steel and trying to get them to expand, or getting Geico to put in their customer sales and service center here in Virginia Beach. All of those that really helped to have Will Sessoms on the City Council, a leader as Vice Mayor in economic development. And so you look at those companies, whether it's Geico, whether it's Steel, whether it's big companies like Amerigroup, one of the top Fortune 400 companies, or the thousands and thousands of small businesses here in Virginia Beach. Will Sessoms is sending out a message loud and clear that Virginia Beach is open for business and for tourism. And the reason is Will Sessoms does understand the key factors to make sure that Virginia Beach is a great place for people to live, learn, work, invest, and raise a family, as well as a great place to take a vacation. And the mayor is delivering on that. He understands the importance of safe communities. That's a key component. If people are going to live in a place, they want to know that they're safe. They want to know that it's a safe place for their families and business. You also have great leadership with Sheriff Ken Stolley here in Virginia Beach. Schools matter. People care about the education of their children. Education's personal empowerment. And Mayor Sessoms has made education a priority here in Virginia Beach, and making sure that not only do our children have good opportunities, but there's a skilled workforce, that when you're talking to businesses to expand or locate here, you say, look at our schools, and we have a good, skilled, capable, talented workforce. You keep your taxes comparatively low. You have pro-business leadership at the local level. What the mayor does with his leadership here in Virginia Beach, sure, there's laws, there's regulations, there needs to be compliance, but the attitude is you work with the job creators, not in an adversarial way, but in a cooperative way, to make sure that that investment in those jobs are created. He also knows that all you say is, I'm surprised a jet hasn't flown over. I guess this convention center is so well insulated or soundproof, but every time a jet flies over, people here say, that's the sound of freedom. And we understand and appreciate, the mayor does, our military. And I remember working with Will when the last BRAC round, when they're trying to shut down Oceana. But his leadership is making sure that we support Oceana and the military missions of all the various facilities here, and hope to do that again, working with you in the event that that ever comes about again with BRAC. But most importantly, it's not just me saying that Will Sessoms is an outstanding mayor. The facts and statistics clearly show Virginia Beach is excelling with the leadership of Will Sessoms. Virginia Beach is adding jobs. Tourism is increasing, even in this tough economy. Virginia Beach's schools, it's not just us saying, gosh, aren't those nice schools? They're the top schools in the Commonwealth. They're top schools in our entire country. The bond rating, AAA bond rating, and Virginia Beach has been recognized as the best managed city in America. And so it's my pleasure to present to you one person that has all those accolades and all that great leadership, but best of all, I think he's got just about the cutest granddaughter anybody could have, in Maddie, who I call Blue Eyes. And so it's my pleasure to present to you our great friend, the leader of the winning Virginia Beach team, an exemplary leader, the vibrant mayor of Virginia Beach, our friend and great leader and great granddad, Will Sessoms.
Well, good afternoon, all. And thank you, Governor Allen, for traveling to our beautiful city for this occasion. I appreciate your being here and your introduction. I'd also like to thank the Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce and today's sponsors for organizing and supporting this annual rite of passage that lets our citizens know where we've been and where we're going. Thank you as well to my Town Bank family and my family at home, my lovely wife of nearly 35 years, Bev, our 3 daughters, Molly, Kate, and Ann Douglas, our son-in-law, Kyle, our future son-in-law, Fred, and of course, most especially, our 1-year-old granddaughter, Maddie, for all their love, support, and encouragement. I truly couldn't do what I do without you. Thank you. Thank you. It seems each year since I was elected mayor, we've been hit hard with some of the biggest challenges that have faced this city in its nearly 50-year history. Like other cities, we've had shortfall after shortfall in our budgets and less revenue to work with. The military presence here has been threatened by federal government cuts, and the ailing economy has diminished this nation's ability to bounce back and prosper. But time and time again, we have risen to the occasion by making tough decisions that not only keep our eye on the future, but continue to keep Virginia Beach well ahead of other cities in the nation. If you read the newspapers, surf the internet, or watch television, you will see the unfortunate choices other cities across the country have made to balance their roles, including selling city-owned buildings and leasing them back at exorbitant losses. We've seen cities slash spending for their schools, lay off teachers, and shutter plans for much-needed new school buildings. We've seen businesses shut down, devastating families and dreams. I am proud and humbled in many ways to say Virginia Beach has not had to resort to such extreme tactics and continues to provide the quality of life that our residents have come to expect and deserve. Over the last year, we have seen many aspects of this city, the best city in the world, improve despite being embroiled in the worst recession since the Great Depression. I'm here to show you today that Virginia Beach has a proven track record of getting through the rough times, of making tough decisions, and of staying on the best long-term path for our citizens. In the past year, Virginia Beach has made it onto multiple lists that praise how this city is run, how healthy it is, and what a great place it is to raise a family. We broke ground on several projects that will forever change this community for the better, dedicated others, and moved forward on several much-needed transportation projects. We've purchased thousands of acres near Naval Air Station Oceana to keep development from encroaching on the master jet base, obtained open space by the Chesapeake Bay, and preserved agricultural land from being developed. Our public schools continue to rank among the best in the nation. Our crime rate, one of the lowest for a city our size. For the second year in a row, Virginia Beach's general obligation bonds have been rated as AAA investments by all 3 major bond rating agencies. Virginia Beach is the only Hampton Roads city to earn this distinction. We are a physically strong city, and our conservative management practices are paying off. As a result of this perfect credit rating, Virginia Beach saved about $1.8 million over the 20-year term of bonds for major projects last year. Year after year after year, we do more with less, and yet we are still among the most effective and efficient governments in the nation. We have so much to celebrate. In fact, one of our major victories in 2011 was acquiring 1,720 acres, more than the previous decade, in our long-running campaign to protect Oceana. At the time of the BRAC hearings in 2005, the city stepped up to the plate and vowed to roll back encroachments around Oceana to allow for the safe operation of the base and for the protection of our citizens. We have kept our promise. If we hadn't, we could still stand to lose an irreplaceable component to our economic engine, more than 16,000 military and civilian personnel, including the Dam Neck Annex, with a total payroll of $1.3 billion a year. Everyone in this room would have been proud to hear the Navy's glowing accolades about the successful acquisition program last week at Oceana's change of command ceremony. Clearly, this partnership is succeeding. Once again, defense spending is on the federal chopping block. The Department of Defense has called for 2 new rounds of base closings over 3 years to see where cuts can be made. Our fight to keep Oceana safe and sound will continue. We have not come this far to give up the jets. Dealing with the threat of cuts or losses of assets will require strong leadership and a clear vision of where we want to be as a region. It's a big country that will be competing for diminishing defense expenditures and assets. This is why we must approach the problem in partnership with our surrounding cities and the military. If one of us loses, we all lose. This approach will make our cities stronger economically and keep our nation stronger militarily. Which brings me back to our efforts to support and fund the Oceana Land Use Conformity Program. In 2011, we reached new heights. We have now acquired 540 homes and more than 2,000 acres to protect Oceana's future. The city's recent purchase of 792 acres of farmland and woods off of Indian River Road from Rock Ministries is the largest single land purchase in our 6-year program. The city also paid Kempsville Presbyterian Church $7.84 million to buy the 516-acre Brown Farm near the Municipal Center. And last year, we also purchased an 18-acre Commerce Center on London Bridge Road, a significant acquisition that will account for a 13% reduction in incompatible commercial uses around Oceana. We are grateful to our legislators in Richmond that have supported this program by matching the city's annual commitment of $7.5 million every year for the past 5 years, allowing us to spend $75 million for these ever-important tracts of land. We would not have secured this much-needed financial support without the help of Admiral John C. Harvey, Jr., the commander of U.S. Fleet Forces, who traveled to Richmond with me last year to ensure that money made it into the state budget. Admiral Harvey, please stand and let us salute you for your service to our country. Turning to our largest employer, Joint Expeditionary Base Little Creek, Fort Story. We have seen it grow from an installation with approximately 10,000 personnel in 2001 to a diverse, multi-focus force of more than 20,000 today. And here's to our nation's modest and mighty Navy SEALs, who recently celebrated 50 years of service since President John F. Kennedy established the program in 1962. Thanks for your heroism, your fearlessness, and your courage. We are honored to have you and your families living in Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads. We'll all I would ask that all members of the United States Armed Forces, active, retired, and reserve, please stand and let us honor you. Turning now to another vital piece in the city's economic puzzle, tourism. We found out this past season just how tough as nails this industry is. In 2011, the city experienced a record year for overall lodging sales, $279 million, a 1.7% increase over 2010. Visitor spending on lodging is the single best indicator of how healthy our tourism industry is. These visitors, with an average household income of $93,000, spent more during their vacations in 2011, despite Hurricane Irene and a recession that has seen families become much more frugal on how they spend their entertainment and vacation dollars. In fact, citywide, restaurant sales, retail sales, and amusement revenue have done extremely well during this sluggish economy. Citywide hotel room tax revenues totaled $24.4 million for fiscal year 2011, up 7% from the previous year and $1.7 million more than projected in the annual budget. This was the highest annual collection on record for this revenue stream. Virginia Beach was the only destination among our competition that saw positive increases in visitor spending last year. With the decline of the residential real estate tax base, it is music to my ears that hotel assessments citywide are up 1.7%, or $16.7 million for the next fiscal year. We are heading in the right direction. Moving on to the oceanfront, we introduced our new and improved Laskin Gateway Corridor. This once-on-paper only plan is becoming an attractive and energetic district that ties into other efforts to rejuvenate aging areas of the oceanfront. This includes plans to redevelop the Dome site and Rudy Loop, to bring a headquarters hotel to the convention center, and to beautify key corridors into the resort area. Our strategy is working, our plan is effective, and we're winning. But we cannot afford to rest on our laurels. To stay ahead, we have to step up our game. I'm not suggesting that we move forward without careful consideration, responsible planning, and fiscal responsibility. However, with the current low interest rates and the lower cost of construction and materials, we know the time is right to set great ideas in motion. Let's now visit the southern part of Virginia Beach, a beautiful area of waterways, nature, and agrarian lifestyles. When we talk about the big three elements of our economy, the military, tourism, and agriculture, many people overlook agriculture. This shouldn't be the case. Virginia Beach was founded by families who set down roots here, worked the land, and made us what we are today. Our city's agricultural business sector provides an estimated $100 million economic impact to the city, including production crops like soybeans, the city's largest crop, and fruits and vegetables. The city continues to purchase land to place in its award-winning agricultural reserve program. We are nearly halfway to the 1995 goal of enrolling 20,000 acres to preserve the southern part of the city. We are also making every effort to safeguard open space and sensitive wetland areas in the northern part of our city. I'd like to congratulate the City Council for its vote taken just last night to finalize the purchase of Pleasure House Point, the largest undeveloped property in the Lynn Haven watershed. Pleasure House Point and its 122 acres of open water, shoreline, habitat, and maritime forest has been a top priority in the outdoors plan for more than a decade. We'd like to thank all those who helped the city acquire this significant piece of property, including the Trust for Public Land, the Dominion Foundation, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, Lynn Haven River Now, and the residents from the Shore Drive corridor for your commitment to this important conservation project. As we celebrate all these wonderful victories, we know that challenges still exist and must be met head-on. As your mayor, I know the number one reason many people move to this city is because of the quality of our public schools. I've heard it from people time and again, and I've been reading your comments on Facebook that say the same. Our schools continue to outperform others in Hampton Roads on standards of learning exams. Based on the preliminary analysis of the 2010-2011 SLL test results, 99% of Virginia Beach Public Schools are projected to earn full SOL accreditation. We continually rank top in the nation for best public school systems, including 5th best large city school division, according to Great Schools, a national nonprofit that studies private and public school education. And last year, 10 of 11 of our high schools were ranked in the top 6% nationwide by the Washington Post. These accomplishments will not falter on my watch. I wholeheartedly know that our schools are vital to the future economic success of our students and our city. During my tenure since 2009, we have spent a total of $2.6 billion on public schools, which includes ambitious capital projects. We've all seen the headlines recently, not just here, but in every city and state in America. Virginia Beach and its public schools are facing substantial shortfalls in funding over the next 5 years. Many reasons exist for these gaps, including the continuing decline of residential real estate values, the rising cost of retirement and health care plans, and the reduction of state and federal money coming to the city. Since fiscal year 09, the median home value in Virginia Beach has decreased from $259,000 to $220,000. This means that the average homeowner is paying $352 less a year in real estate taxes. Averaging it out and adding it up means that over a 4-year period since I've been mayor, the city will receive $66.5 million less in real estate taxes to help balance its budget and pay for the services that we have come to expect and deserve in this fine city. And we know in all of this, public schools have been one of the hardest hit. Federal stimulus money to fund teacher positions to the tune of $64.1 million has dried up. The Virginia retirement system contribution from the school system is proposed to increase by $19.9 million, which doesn't include the $8.9 million increase the city has to pay for its employees. Regardless of these cuts and mandated increased costs, leaders in Virginia Beach and in the Commonwealth know that we cannot afford to let education be underfunded. Now is the time to do what is right for our students. We will not let our schools fall behind. We will not compromise when it comes to providing a quality school system in this city. We will not support budget cuts that will cause irreparable damage to our schools. As I stated, students are a vital part of our economic success. Educated citizens within a community attract successful companies. This is why the city is committed to bringing new businesses within our borders. Diversifying the tax base and taking the real estate tax burden off homeowners is and always will be an integral part of a plan to make this city successful. Since 2009, we have added more than 5,200 jobs within Virginia Beach with $313 million in new investments. Last year alone, Virginia Beach gained 22 new businesses, a whopping 144% increase over the previous year. 72 businesses expanded, adding 1,800 jobs to the payrolls. We are proud that Virginia Beach companies are thriving. Amerigroup is now number 396 on the Fortune 500 list. And Valkyrie Enterprises is the only Virginia company outside of the DC metro area to make the annual Forbes.com list of America's most promising companies. Steel's most recent 53,000 square foot expansion brings 52 new jobs to the company's North American headquarters. Steel's recent $18 million purchase of the former Lillian Vernon site nearly doubles the company's footprint in Virginia Beach and opens the door for further expansion. IMS Gear Virginia, one of the largest manufacturers of gear assemblies for the North American car market, will invest $35.5 million and create up to 80 new jobs, expanding its Virginia Beach operations. I would like to thank Amerigroup, Valkyrie, Steel, and IMS Gear for calling this city home. As announced last year, BMZ GmbH, based in Karlstein, Germany, has now established its U.S. headquarters, producing lithium-ion batteries here in Virginia Beach. Listen to what Mike Greasy of BMZ has to say about our city.
Well, Virginia Beach is for lovers, but Virginia Beach is also for business. It's a very business-friendly state, and with the presence of a good workforce, with the immediate access to interstate, within seconds we're on the interstate, within minutes we're on the towards Richmond or Washington or anywhere else, within minutes we're at the airport having a good workforce. It was obvious that this would be our first primary choice. And then the final decision was made for the Virginia Beach location because of the excessive presence of international companies already being located in Virginia Beach, so it became obvious.
Thank you, Mike. We understand we must always work to attract new businesses in our great city, which means keeping our taxes low and regulations minimal. The elimination of the business, professional, and occupational license tax for the first 2 years of a new business is allowing startups to get off and running. The abolishment of the machinery and tools tax provides a new incentive for companies looking to establish, relocate, or expand high-value manufacturing facilities in our city. During my term as your mayor, Princess Anne Commons has evolved into a center for athletics, medicine, higher education, bioscience, and research. Largely a cornfield 15 years ago, this area ushered in several exciting businesses and projects that create well-paying jobs and provide opportunities for so many who are in or want to be in the medical field. LifeNet Health's $15 million, 42,000 square foot Institute of Regenerative Medicine is scheduled to open this fall. Last year, LifeNet Health touched more than 400,000 patients across the globe who needed a life-saving organ transplant from right here in Virginia Beach. The organization has more than 500 employees and plans to add another 50 professional, scientific, and research positions to the company this year. Also under construction here is the world headquarters for Operation Smile. The facility for this outstanding charity is being built adjacent to Tidewater Community College's Regional Health Professions Center, which opened last year. The $29 million center immerses students in a learning environment that is virtually identical to what they will see in the workplace. Next spring, TCC students will also have a new $27.3 million, 89,500 square foot student center. The city is also working with TCC to build the biggest and most innovative public library east of San Jose, California. The 120,000 square foot library will be 1/3 bigger than the Central Library and will offer services for everyone, from children just learning to read to retirees. It will open early next year. All three of these facilities are and will truly be assets to our city and to the region. Thank you, Dr. Deborah DeCroce, for making Tidewater Community College one of the best community colleges in the nation. We wish you the best with the Hampton Roads Community Foundation. We also wish your interim successor at TCC, Dr. Peter Spina, continued success. Deborah. Another enormous asset to the region is Sentara Princess Anne Hospital, which opened its doors last summer as a world-class 160-bed acute care facility with a certified stroke center. This historic partnership between Sentara Healthcare and Bon Secours was a $173 million investment that kept hundreds of skilled workers employed for 2 years during a deep recession. Since opening, this hospital has handled 33,000 emergency room visits, making it the second busiest hospital ER in the Sentara Health System. From August through January, more than 1,000 babies were born there. All of this leads me to the single largest challenge we face as a city and as a region: transportation. During my term as chair of the Hampton Roads Transportation Planning Organization, we worked as a team and came up with, for the first time, an effective system to prioritize transportation projects for this region. and many of our projects hit the priorities list that the governor gave. $600 million worth of projects were funded in Hampton Roads. A whopping $156 million has already been allocated for projects like the Lesnar Bridge replacement, the Lynn Haven Parkway extension, and the widening of Holland and Woodstuck roads. We are grateful to our legislators and the governor for making this happen. However, until just a few years ago, we were receiving more than $30 million a year in state urban funding, which would have paid for projects like the improvements to Laskin Road and First Colonial Road. Since 2008, the city, as well as other jurisdictions throughout Virginia, has received $0 in urban funding allocations. State funding is no longer available for primary or secondary road improvements. In fact, looking down that road a few years, the state will find it difficult to pay for maintaining existing roads, and it's unlikely that federal transportation dollars will be matched. The Virginia Beach City Council and the leaders of this region and the state need to continue to work with the General Assembly to fund a new revenue stream of at least $500 million a year. It's time we harness our resources and our respective political influences. Together, I am confident we can build a campaign to come up with real solutions to these transportation challenges. Finally, we must also look to fund mass transit and high-speed rail. I am greatly indebted to the leadership of State Director Thelma Drake for making passenger rail service to Norfolk and the South Side a reality. But we need additional funding statewide if we're going to expand this service and eventually go to high-speed rail. We also are exploring alternative funding methods to extend light rail into Virginia Beach, at first to Town Center and then eventually to the oceanfront. Everywhere I go, people of all ages say, we have to get light rail to Virginia Beach. I concur 100%. I know we have said that we would wait for the light rail study to be complete at the end of this year to decide which direction to take, but we've seen the tide success above and beyond what was anticipated. Therefore, I think the time is right to ask voters whether they would support bringing the tide into Virginia Beach. That's why I've asked Council members Jim Wood and John Earn to look into this matter and recommend when a referendum on the ballot would make sense. I'm hopeful the issue will come to us sooner rather than later. Now I'd like to recognize Norfolk Mayor Paul Frame for his perseverance and leadership in bringing the 7.4-mile starter line to his city. Paul, we hope to link to the tide in the very near future. Despite these challenges, the city has transportation milestones to look forward to. All of our road widening and bridge projects will include much anticipated and badly needed bike lanes, including a 2-mile stretch along the eastbound lane of Shore Drive. Part of my pledge to you as mayor was to create a safe and comprehensive bike lane network in Virginia Beach to make travel for cyclists and motorists much safer. We are meeting that pledge. As we look to the future of this great city, we must continue to engage our citizens and our business leaders to create plans that will set the stage for new growth and development opportunities. These plans also must promote economic vitality, environmental stewardship for generations to come. I'm proud to note we have completed 6 of the 8 strategic growth area plans, and working with the Aquarium Foundation this past year, we also approved a very forward-looking aquarium and Alice Creek master plan. One of these strategic growth areas already gives us a lot of bragging rights. At Town Center, we continue to see what a vibrant place it has become, with new restaurants opening and events packing the 1,300-seat Sandler Center for the Performing Arts. In 2011, 63% of our oceanfront visitors went to Town Center to eat, shop, and take in the atmosphere. Town Center is now an integral part of what draws people to Virginia Beach. Because of everything this city has to offer, its schools, parks, beaches, A1 public safety, the region's lowest tax rate, lower than the nation unemployment, and that AAA bond rating, Virginia Beach in the past year made it onto several best of lists. On the screen are the many accolades bestowed upon this city by numerous prestigious organizations. I'd like to mention two of my favorites. Number 2, best city to raise a family, and number 1, best run city in America by 24/7 Wall Street. Mayor Frame, eat your heart out. We embrace these honors, but we also aren't taking them for granted. Recognition just doesn't happen. It comes from years of careful planning, well thought out decisions, and sticking with priorities we know to be tried and true. There is no doubt that good things are happening in every nook and cranny of Virginia Beach, thanks to so many wonderful citizens who put their heart and soul into our community. A heartfelt thanks also to our dedicated City Council. Please stand so we can recognize you. I am also grateful to our hardworking city employees and volunteers who work diligently every day to help make this the best run city in the nation. Please stand so we can recognize you, please. I'd also like to take a few moments to talk about other efforts in this city that need to be highlighted. I thank the members of the Envision Beach 2040 for their continued efforts. We look forward to your recommendations. I'm proud that the city is undertaking a new and innovative approach to helping our homeless population. At City Council's direction, a dialogue has started with the community and faith-based organizations to talk about a homeless service campus that would consolidate services all in one location. Potential services could include emergency shelter, long-term housing, city offices, vocational training, and educational programs. I believe this is the first step in bringing comprehensive assistance to some of our most vulnerable citizens. Later this evening, police officers in Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads, the state, and this nation will start their shifts protecting our citizens. With God's help, all will finish that shift unharmed. Sadly, 14 law enforcement officers in this great city have died in the line of duty. All will be honored when the Virginia Beach Police Foundation unveils its impressive law enforcement officers memorial. I hope everyone here will join me May 12th at 1 p.m. on the boardwalk at 35th Street to see for the first time this symbol of bravery of all law enforcement officers. Because of these heroic efforts, Virginia Beach continues to be one of the safest cities of its size in the United States. This doesn't just happen by itself. It's because of the dedication and service of public safety officers, including police, fire, emergency medical services, and VB 911, and the support and assistance that you, the citizens, provide to these agencies. Last year, we celebrated the 200th birthday of the historical SeaTac community. Congratulations to George Menz and the members of the 100-year-old SeaTac Community Civic League for organizing a 3-day commemoration that will help keep memories alive, featuring stories of service and sacrifice, stories that should never be forgotten. I am delighted that the SeaTac Rec Center is now named in the honor of a great man, Joseph V. Grimstead, Sr. It is with great sadness, though, that I must acknowledge the loss of Bishop Barnett K. Thorogood, a great leader in SeaTac, the city, the state, and the nation. We will miss him for the love he had for this community, his family, and friends, his impassioned sermons, and his tireless efforts to serve those less fortunate. Because families are the building blocks of any community, and Virginia Beach is no exception, I launched the Mayor's Action Challenge for children and families to help families in our city experience a better quality of life. As part of this initiative, police officers conducted door-to-door interviews with more than 1,500 residents in several neighborhoods and continue to do follow-ups and additional citizen surveys. Soon, Bayside will have a new recreation center to continue supporting our community by giving families choices on where to spend their time in a safe and healthy way. This year, low-income families are engaged in Bank On Virginia Beach, a partnership of banks, credit unions, and community organizations. Bank On is helping families avoid predatory lenders, build credit, and manage cash flow by establishing traditional savings and checking accounts that are free or low cost. Finally, the dilapidated building that housed the city's homeless animals and threatened to cost us $1,000 a day in state fines for being subpar has been replaced by the state-of-the-art Animal Care and Adoption Center on Burneck Road. In closing, as residents of the greatest city in the world, we are blessed. Like the first English settlers who set foot on our shores, we are a tough breed. Many cities have been paralyzed, and now they find themselves so far behind that it could take a miracle to catch up, to restore services, and to move ahead. Despite doggedly tough economic times, here in Virginia Beach, great things continue to happen. We are approaching our 50th anniversary as a city. What will the next half-century bring? Time and tide wait for no one. We cannot afford to stand still while the world speeds up. The easiest thing we could do is sit back and do nothing. We are the masters of our own destiny. We have to be, and we must remain in motion, moving forward. We must build the momentum that we've worked so hard to achieve. It's up to us to make the right choices today for a bright future tomorrow. So let's maintain our strong partnership with the military. Let's fund our schools at the level they deserve. Let's invest in tourism and stay competitive with other markets. Let's help agriculture and the environment flourish. Let's diversify our tax base to help take the funding burden off the backs of homeowners. Let's pursue partnerships that will provide a win-win for our economy, for Virginia Beach, and for the citizens of this great community. Seriously, folks, our residents are the true heart of our city. And as I look around this ballroom, I see a very special audience. I see people who want a more prosperous and sustainable community. I see the best municipal employees, volunteers, and city council members on the planet. I see men and women who run the most dynamic corporations and organizations in the world. I see the best citizens that you could find anywhere, people who are working to ensure the quality of life in our community continues to be superb so that Virginia Beach will continue to be the best city in the world.